When Garrick told us he was a thug, we should have believed him.
Don't be timid when you ain't it, love a bone, give along, need it. I don't want no trip, baby, spend like
My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay?
You guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I shouldn't have left you, but now I'm back with something. Back to talk Seeking Sister Wives Season 6 as a whole. It just wrapped up this week, so I said, listen, we had done a cute little live about it, but I had never come back and actually done a review of the actual show, and so now that the season's wrapping, I said, come on over here. The Sweet Pea said it in the Discord. So alas, I am here to talk each of in this most recent season of Seeking Sister Wives. It was a mess, but was it anything unexpected? Absolutely not, because the foolishness is going to full. And honestly, in my personal opinion, the poly life ain't for everybody, honey. There's very select few who could actually be in a polyamorous situation and make it work, in my opinion, just because of the way humans are. Okay, just because of a fire and desire and, you know, self-esteem issues and insecurities and all of those things, right? But this season, we have two returning families, the OG families that we know, the Merrifields and the Davises. And then we had three new families, the Williamsons, the Peraltas, and the Johnsons. And I'm going to go family by family. We're going to break this down. I'll let you know what happened this season and how we rounded everything off. So y'all know we're going to start with the Merrifields. All right. We're going to start with Garrick and Dannielle, because they done run away every single person that they've had up to this point. Roberta got that bag and said deuces, and then that other one said, Garrick, you're not about to play on my top. You already got these dating apps. We're not even married. But we also know that 5 years ago, when they first entered the Seeking Sister Wife universe, Garrick and Dannielle had gotten a divorce on paper so that he could bring over his next bride, because you know he's not going to get one from America. All right, he's going to go over there to Brazil to bring one home. And so last season, at the end, we find out that he had a new love interest. They were courting a new woman, and this season we met Lorrana, okay, who was here, basically should have been 90-day fiance version of Seeking Sister Wife, because come on over, but we have 90 days to get married. They literally wait until the final hour to marry this young woman because they couldn't get the prenup right. Garrick didn't do the work. Dannielle didn't do the work. Dannielle is the same passive aggressive meanie that she has been since the very beginning. This is a woman who never wanted this life, but for all intents and purposes, whatever Garrick got there over on her, you know, she's sticking beside him. So much so that she got pregnant last season and had a baby girl. Well, Lorrana comes, and again, it's still very much, you know, nice, nasty. I'm going to pretend I like you for Garrick's sake, but at the end of the day, Lorrana, I really don't like you. I really don't want you here. I really don't want to share this room. I really don't want you to be my sister. And more importantly, I don't want Garrick alone with you. I don't want my kids getting you bikes. I don't want you going for, you know, secret rendezvous with my husband. And I don't like it, because what about me? What about my clothes? What about my things? What about we're all in the same house, Dannielle. So again, just more of the same. Garrick is weird. And as I said in my opening, Garrick told us last season that he was a thug, okay? He said he had a gang. He was out here pushing man before, and he even showed pictures of him in his younger days. We know that his family has nothing to do with him because they were somebody in their neck of the woods and they don't like his lifestyle. So basically, Dannielle's family has, you know, embraced him and, you know, is going on with his call, right? Plurality. And so they get there, they're having, you know, some chemistry. But here's the thing that was outstanding to me about their whole situation. It was the fact that not Dannielle nor Garrick decided that they were going to learn even a little bit of Portuguese to communicate with Lorrana. It's squarely on her shoulders and that interpreter app. They're not going anywhere else. You know, she better learn. We even have a moment this season where Lorrana calls it out and it's like, I don't like you guys having these private, cute conversations over here, and I'm over here in the dark. I don't know anything about what you're saying and what's going on. And so we kind of deal with that, the growing pains, the assimilation. She came from Rio, okay? And to come to this little podunk town, she was like, where's everything at? It's just, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? But ultimately, she finds her way. They're happy and they do get married. Well, shortly after, we discover that she is pregnant with a girl. They do this little bootleg gender reveal in the cupcake cracker. That was the worst gender reveal I've ever seen in my life. And give birth to baby. Well, at the end, they're having the conversation about the life, the new baby, all of those things. And he says, yeah, and I'm already seeking the next one. And she's like, well, I don't know how comfortable I feel with that. This is very quick. We just, got pregnant, had the baby. I just got here. I haven't had a lot of time with Garrick. And he said, yeah, but I understand how you feel. But this is the program. Nobody's bigger than the program. And my thing is, Lorrana, baby, I know you were young and I know you came over here, but I don't know why whenever they bring someone in to these existing plural situations, the new person doesn't want it to continue on. I really don't get that concept. I can't wrap my mind around it when that's what you walked into. And Garrick wants the United Nations of women. We know this. We've known it since the beginning. He wants them in every color. He wants to live long and prosper. He wants to be fruitful and to multiply. But now, after all is said and done, again, that last scene looked very ominous. Again, they give us the breakdown, everything's fine. Baby came sometime this year and they're living their best lives. Well, a couple weeks ago, we find the 4-1 girl that Garrick is in trouble with the law now. Lorrana called them people on him. He took away her communication devices. All she wanted to do was reach back out to her family. I guess things were not as cool as it's supposed to be here. And apparently, allegedly, word on the street, sarcasm and all the things, they saying that he got arrested for DV with Lorrana. And I think it was around denying her communication, right? Because again, she doesn't know the language. She's here. She has no one here. And so what are they going to do? Are they still together? Did he put hands on her? I don't know. But I know all is not sweet. I do know they said he threatened to call them people on her. Threatened to deport her. Garrick, they don't give a damn about these women. These women are commodities to be bought, sold, and traded, and all of the things. I think, honestly, that's why he goes abroad to do this foolishness, because he has them by the short hairs. You know what I mean? When they get here, they're fully dependent on him. They need him to be here for that. The other thing that came out in this little wrap up of their situation was the fact that, Dannielle, prepare yourself to be a wife again, to be married to one of my next women that come, because now that I'm legally married to Lorrana, okay, I can't do it again. And Dannielle's like, no, she doesn't want another person from abroad. If she's going to do this, it's got to be here in the States. Because again, when you sign on to this K1 situation, if it's even the same now with this new administration, I don't know. But normally you're responsible for that person for at least 10 years. That means you're responsible financially for them, meaning they can't go to the government to seek any sort of aid if you're married to them. If you brought them over here, you're their sponsor, you are responsible for them living in the States for at least 10 years. So I think she's thinking about that, but also I think Dannielle just really never wanted this. She's going along to get along, in my opinion. This has never been the life that she wanted. She just don't want to make Garrick mad. And maybe that's because the Garrick that we see, this timid, church Bible toting, isn't all that he's cracked up to be. Now, we know he's got an altered gospel, honey, because it's a gospel in his mind. Talking about the sperm changes your brain cells. I can't with Garrick. It's too much. Now, let's get on over here to the harem, honey. The harem of hoes, led by Nick. We have Nick, April, and Jenny. Now, we know that Dannielle was up and down last season. That was their plus size, companion that they brought on, that they loved down, but she wasn't about this life because she too didn't want to add on to the family. She was fine with what they had. But when they started talking about dating and meeting other people, she wasn't with that, and later discovered this just wasn't the life for her. Also, she was a young girl, and these people have, they've lived some life. So now they're in the new season. We find out that I believe Jenny is the one who had the baby, right? Jenny has had a baby girl, and now she's pregnant again in season 6. And so they are being fruitful and multiplying as well, but they've brought in Teresa, okay? And Teresa says she's been loving Nick for a long time. She's been wanting that beefcake for a long time. And I want to know, Nick, what's down there that's got the ladies bent? Because we already know April and Jenny, baby, they fully supply everything you need in that house, from the house to the food to everything. They're willing to do that because you're the head and you think for all of them. But I fear there's more to it than that. I fear it's beefy. I fear it's heavy. And that's really not something I want to think of, because he definitely gives Blue Bear pimp vibes. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, they invite Teresa over, and she's in there with her daughter, and they are just living, life together, but she's very insecure, right? And so the whole season we have her playing, questioning, wondering, why don't you... I just want your name. Maybe I can just change my name. Maybe we can get married, Nick. Like, I want someone to marry because that'll make me feel like more of a Davis, and all of these things, really just going back to her worth and where she fits. And I don't feel like I fit. And mind you, Jenny's pregnant. April's just working, but again, Teresa's causing disharmony in the household, and everybody notices it. But really, whenever Nick tries to talk to her, as far as what we see on camera, she sets that cat on him. And I mean, he's not turning that down, right? But he sees the issues that are happening in the household, behind her, and is like, what do we do from here? How do we have this conversation? Anytime he approaches her with a serious conversation, she abandons ship. I need to leave. I need to go. All of these things, right? And so finally, and again, she knows what it is. The ladies have her stuff packed. She's left after that last conversation, and she calls them on the phone and says, listen, I need to break it off. I don't love myself. I need to work on that before I can be good to any relationship, any situation. In my opinion, my good sis got a whiff that this was going to happen, and so she respectfully bowed out because she still want that man. She talking about her best friend, baby, but you're not his best friend, sister. He was ready for you to go, and I never thought I would see Nick run off a white woman. I never thought I would see the day, but alas, he did. Now, after the airing of the show, apparently she's been doing podcasts, and it's come out, allegedly, by her words, that she was a 304 for 17 years, okay? And that's her past, that's her history. And I'm sure she had a pimp. And I think that kind of ties into her feelings of worthiness and all of that. And really, irrespective of this situation, because being chosen by them does not make you worthy, you should feel the worth within yourself. I guess after several years as an SW. And again, I have a really strong feeling she had a pimp, because it doesn't give empowered woman. It gives, I'm seeking validation constantly. I want to be your bottom. I want to be there. It gives pimp home mentality. And I'm just going to set it right there. And they're utterly done. They say they are cool on this. They're going to focus on the new baby. And then after everything settles down and they get their home back into stasis, they will be seeking again. Now, of all of the couples that we've ever seen on the show, this is the group, this is the couple, the throuple, whatever it is, that I believe really does poly the way. I mean, if we need an example, it works for them. They're not bound by jealousy, the constraints of that. They all seem to be happy sleeping in that big bed. And, he runs a tight ship over there. And they love it. Easing on down the road here, and the rest will be quick because these are the new couples. We have the Williamsons, and that's Reese, Billie Jean, and eventually Randy. Okay. But Reese and Billie Jean, they're a different couple. They've had infertility issues. They have one baby via IVF and I think surrogacy. And then they're practicing again, or trying to do that again. Not practicing, but trying to do that again. And so she's really pushing it. He says ultimately he wants a Coretta Scott King. He wants a Michelle Obama. He wants an Oprah Winfrey. He wants a strong black woman, honey, because he's interested in going this. Now, it must be said that Reese has battled with rumors that he's gay, that he doesn't like women at all. And so this is a shock to everyone. Everyone they tell in the family laughs in their faces. And Billie Jean basically is looking like, I need a break from him. I need a break. Reese, go out and do everything that you need to do, right? And we'll be happy. Somebody to break up the monotony, between you, these kids, and these animals. I don't have a lot of bandwidth. And so he begins the hunt. The first is a disaster. Like, baby, no, I'm not your one. You look like you sing songs in musicals. That's what the lady said. She didn't want him at all. And then enter Randy, who really has a quirky personality. She is down for this, and he's into her. They kick it off. And I think that's a little challenging for him. Everyone else that we saw him interact with was very awkward, very weird, very, beyond the scope. And so now we have this woman who's really interested in him. And now Billy's got an issue. I'm jealous. I don't like it. Because what if he leaves me for you? What if he loves you more than he loves me? And so he's got a whole plan for the land. He's going to build a house over here for him and Randy and you and Billie Jean. You know, Randy respectfully bows out. It says it on the screen. She's no longer a part of this situation, and Billie Jean's gonna work on her jealousy, baby. I thought this was your idea, sister. You really scared somebody gonna take Reese from you, baby? I don't get it. This was, again, the most lackluster couple, you know, and again, they're trying for another baby, so Godspeed to them, but it just really didn't do anything. I think Randy was his one shot. I don't know if he gets another shot after that. And I also really don't understand the press for them to be poly. He already says he's vanilla. He's not into any extra stuff sexually. Very dry, very basic, very bland. And I don't know, sister. I don't know why she's so insecure about him and the other woman when they both agree to that. You know, anyway, Randy's out of the picture, so Godspeed with y'all finding someone else. Next, we have the Peraltas, and that's gonna be quick. That lady never wanted that. Danny, she didn't want this from the beginning. They tried it before. He got too cozy with the side piece. She ain't like it. She gotta be number one, and she's got rules, okay? You can meet somebody, we can have another one, but nobody else can have another baby by you. He said, but I want more children. She's like, well, I can't give them to you. He said, I know. That's why we bring in another person and she can give me the babies. No. That'll be a slap in my face if I have to watch you help you raise another woman's child that I couldn't give you. Baby, you already got two. Like, what? Weird. Yesel and Danny, it's just a strange situation to me. You know, they meet Jackie. Jackie is like the perfect unicorn. The only thing is she wants more children as well. That agrees with him, but not Danny. Danny's, again, very insecure, very much doesn't want this situation, and is going to be a thorn in the side of anyone who tries to come into this situation. While he's gone for work, she and Jackie have a dinner, and basically that's when she says, you know, yeah, everything's cool except you can't have a baby with him. And that's a deal breaker for Jackie. And of course she did it on the low while he was out of town, and it was a whole thing, but that's nothing she ever wanted. She still doesn't trust him from the first situation. I don't even know why she's playing at it. The season wraps, we see the breakdown, you know, they do a vow renewal ceremony for themselves, allegedly still seeking, but haven't found anyone that meets their standards. And of course not. Because that's by design. That's her intention. That's what she wants. I don't even get why they're here. He did a PowerPoint presentation and that made you say, okay. There's more to that story, and I don't know if it'll ever come out, but you know, anyway. Getting on to the final couple, the Johnsons, Matt, Angelica, and initially Shanae. They're odd ducks to me. Matt and Angelica are very different types of people. They're, you know, they've been married for some years now, and they wanted to expand their family according to him. I honestly think, you know, some, and I won't say some, I think the majority of these men just want to experience more sexually. I honestly feel like that. But he, especially that way. Like, I don't think he gives a damn about any of these women that he entertains. I don't think he gave a damn about Shanae. After 3 years, the way we saw him interact and treat her was crazy as hell to me. And on the other side of that, Shanae girl, how are you so mad and so hurt because they dated someone else when you got a whole man that you screwing over here? Huh? Like, someone has to make it make sense for me. I didn't understand all of her anger and rage because they saw someone else. Maybe it was his lie. And that's what Angelica ultimately, you know, apologizes for. But here's the thing. Angelica is, I don't want to call her like a hermit, but she definitely seems socially awkward, and not having any friends, had clung to Shanae as her sister, as her best friend. We meet Angelica's family, and she finally tells them the truth of her life, and baby, they roasting her down because what the hell are you doing? What do you think is going on here? And so she's not getting a ton of support that way. Shanae was her outlet, her release, her friend. Now, were they bumping pocketbooks? I don't know. I think anything was bound to happen with that man, because I don't know, something about him. Anyway, they go through this whole thing. She wants more from the relationship, Shanae, and Matt just really isn't giving it to her. He doesn't want to give it to her. He doesn't care about her, in my opinion. I don't think it was the distance. I just don't think it was that. I think he wants something quick and easy on the side. Someone that's just going to be amiable, that he can treat any kind of way, because he doesn't give that he invests a lot in any of these women that he deals with. And so ultimately, Shanae says she's going to pursue her relationship with this other guy. Angelica's heartbroken because because I love her. We need her. Matt makes this really crappy attempt to get her back, but that goes awry. And so ultimately Shanae decides to part ways and she's going to do her own thing. She forgives Angelica for participating in the lie and says that they'll still be friends and that they're still close. Even when she's saying that at the end, Matt was looking like. As soon as Shanae was out of the picture, though, they were already dating witchcraft and wizardry. He had already had hoes lined up. So whatever. He didn't give a damn. He still says he wants to grow the family, and Angelica is there as the dutiful wife, there by his side, holding his hand. As long as she's got her Shanae, though, maybe she'll be fine. I don't know. This was probably, I don't know. I won't say the season was completely boring, but it just didn't move us forward anywhere. Like, I would love that if this was a real reflection of a positive poly situation that actually worked. But I think the problem may just be inherently with the dynamics and the people that are engaging in it. A lot of them, in my opinion, are not engaging in this by choice. It's their husband and they don't want to lose their husband, Just saying. But anyway, that was season 6 of Seeking Sister Wives. Now, season 7, I don't know. Is Garrick going to come back now that he got a charge? Allegedly? I don't know. Do any of these people come back after this? I don't know. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. What did you think of this season? Did it hit all the things? Did it check all your boxes? Was it what you needed? I'm going to pray for these people because I just don't know. But anyway, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.